we agree Trey Lance is available for trade. They essentially said it. They're like, we like him on the team for now, but no one's off limits. And we have Sam Darnold and we love him. And Brock's coming back. So what's the price? I mean, they don't just give them away, right? Like, what would you say would be the minimum that you would say is a good return on investment? Not investment. Well, a good return in this trade.
Well, that's that I think is why we're going to see the trade, because I think the price that team, like, okay, so the top 4 quarterbacks are thought to go in the top 10, maybe not, but most likely. So then it comes down to, is Trey better than Hendon Hooker? Is he better than Tanner McKee? Is he better than Jake Haener? Is he better than these quarterbacks that are not going to go the top 4, that are going to go from anywhere from the middle of the first round till the top of the third round? And I would say Trey is undoubtedly better than all those guys. So if I'm a team that picks anywhere from like 12 down to 50, I think you could probably pick up the phone and get Trey Lance if you wanted him. That'd be my guess. And if the Niners are willing to combo Trey with one of their third round picks, I really believe they could definitely get in the first round. And who, they would have to go. They would have to go there with a target in mind, of course. And I don't know who that target would be, but maybe there's a tackle, maybe there's a corner, maybe there's a tight end. I've been throwing out Michael Mayer from Notre Dame, but I think Notre Dame's got 2 guys that would interest the Niners: Michael Mayer, the tight end, and Isaiah Foskey, who went to De La Salle, who's from Antioch, one of the best defensive ends in this draft. A guy like Foskey opposite Bosa could be a true difference maker. So, we don't know how they have the prospects evaluated, but I could see them moving him any point between, let's say, 10 and 50, and they pick 99. So they could probably, if they want to move up for a guy, I think they could utilize him to move up, or they could combo some of their picks or future picks with him, and I think they could get maybe as high as 20.
Ooh, I'd be so surprised if they got that much for Trey Lance. Though I agree with you, he's in the conversation to be the 5th or the 6th quarterback in this draft. But the fact that he hasn't played in 3 years and that he's coming off an ankle injury and he's a dual threat, I think Hendon Hooker would go ahead of him. Hendon Hooker played in the SEC. Hendon Hooker played well for 2 years. Yeah, he did tear his ACL. That's true. And he's older than Trey. That's true.
Yeah,
so it could
25.
be close. It could be close. Maybe that's it. But still, I don't even know where Hendon Hooker is going to go. Draft Tech has him at like 40. CBS has him at like 119. I feel like after the first round, these media places don't really know. So that's an interesting one to look at. Where is Hendon Hooker going to go? And you could argue that Trey Lance should be sort of in a similar spot. 3 years younger than the guy. Both coming off injuries. That being said, Hendon Hooker legitimately is a really good passer. And he played in the SEC for multiple years.
And, and then the weird thing about projecting this is that if they move Trey, they probably would have to find another quarterback that they liked in this draft as well. So, but they may like, you never know. They may like Max.
Like what if they trade Trey Lance for a pick in round 2 or round 3 and then spend that pick on a quarterback?
Like the
Hendon Hooker. I like Hendon Hooker. I think he's really good.
Exactly. Well, Hendon Hooker had an incredible year, but he also had incredible receivers. And his receivers might have made him look good.
Same with Bryce Young though, and CJ Stroud, and all these guys.
True. It is true. I mean, I think this is the hardest quarterback class to evaluate. Tanner McKee throws the ball awesome. I mean, he's 6'6" with an absolute gun. Jake Haener was the MVP of the Senior Bowl and had a phenomenal career at Fresno State. The kid from BYU, super athletic. DTR, super athletic. Clayton Tune. There's a lot of guys there.
Yep. So that's interesting. I was thinking for Trey Lance, I was going to say mid-3rd round, but I guess it depends on when Hendon Hooker is going to go. And I can't find – it's hard to know exactly where a day 2 prospect is going to go, but somewhere on day 2 is that Trey Lance, Hendon Hooker. Because I would think Trey Lance, his stock would be ahead of Tanner McKee. Wouldn't you think?
I think it's ahead of both of them, to be honest. I mean, I know Trey hasn't had a great run here with injuries, but Trey's still 6'3", 240. He had incredible college stats by all accounts. Whether you like him or dislike him as a prospect, everybody says that he's absolutely salt of the earth human being. So, I mean, it's just a matter of, It's just a matter of how, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Do you believe that you can turn them around? The other thing is there's a number of guys, Miami, the Jets, the Titans, there's Washington, there's a number of teams that need quarterbacks who used to be in San Francisco who may have their own opinions about Trey Lance from knowing him.
Washington is an interesting one because
Mayhew,
who was their
right?
quarterback? Jacoby Brissett.
I mean, they got rid of
That's
Taylor
not
Heineke.
right. Like Jacoby Brissett can't be the final solution at the quarterback
Are the
position.
Jets getting Aaron Rodgers? And even if they get Aaron Rodgers, would they want Trey Lance? Because Aaron Rodgers is pretty much at the end. And then
Robert Saleh needs to make the playoffs this year. So no.
Does Miami want Skylar Thompson as their number 2 to Tua with Tua's concussions? Maybe.
Wouldn't it be funny if Mike McDaniel took Trey Lance off of Kyle Shanahan's hands and showed him how to develop a quarterback? It's all right, Kyle, I can do it.
He's got the.
It was funny because what's funny is the Niners traded with Miami to begin with for that trade. Wouldn't it be funny if they traded him back to Miami after?
I know.
You can't do that, right? It's just embarrassing.
Well, I mean, you're going to take a risk, but I think the story that the Niners will tell on the day they move Trey is that they could have gotten better offers elsewhere, but they
did right by the kid.
They did right by the kid. They
did right by
delivered
the kid.
him to a perfect spot.
Shit.
For him.
Yeah, right.
They believe in him so much
because they're not a business. They're family. They're family. Yeah, yes, sure. I love that when they do that. Everyone's like, oh. Bravo! Bravo, 49ers.
Gigantic.
I love that.
Gigantic Applebee's. They're eating good in the neighborhood,
Yeah, hell yeah. Steve Poon says, it's not that hard. Keep both Purdy and Lance. Be a genius like Walsh and make it work. Try to make at least one of them an MVP. Don't believe that 2 quarterbacks is no good quarterback. BS. Coaches need more blame. I'm always for blaming coaches. I'm with Steve on that. Just on principle. Blame the coach.
Blame the coach.
Blame the coach. That's a shirt right there. I would wear that just around town. Blame the coach. It's a lifestyle.
I think
Josh Wyatt.
I think that's merch coming for you. Merch.
Hell yeah.
The Cohn.
No, merch is. I don't like merch. Merch is a waste of time. But it's fun. It was. I got to remember. I'm a journalist.
Merch is a pain in the ass.
I'm a journalist. I'm not. I have no business sense. I'm not an influencer. But it's fun sometimes. But essentially, Larry and I are serious journalists who are quirky sometimes when we get deep into a stream.
We're opinionated.
Josh Wyatt says exactly. Josh Wyatt says only thing worse than paying $27 million on the wrong quarterback is paying $27 million at running back. That's why we have 3 quarterbacks that wouldn't start for any other playoff team, and we're all pretending they have 3 quarterbacks when they have none. Boy, sometimes the truth hurts.
Wow,
it's true. Kyle and his dad really do value the running back position above the quarterback position. It's the truth.
They love their backs.
They'll commit to a running back. They'll commit to a wide receiver. They will not commit to a quarterback. You can't tie them down. Bachelors for life.
They're like fantasy players. They're gonna stream their quarterback all year.
Yeah. Humberto Ramirez, thank you so much for the $5. Niner Grandpa says Grant is scared to live debate. Be scared. Oh man, it's true. I've heard all about you, Niner Grandpa. You're tough. You're a heavyweight. Glass half full guy, though, I will gladly debate because he's a glass half full guy. I legitimately think Trey has not been given a true fair shot. That is true. I think the Niners are so antsy to win a Super Bowl, which is why I think they're very anxious about committing to Trey. It's true. That's the thing with Trey. It's not like Trey didn't get arrested. He didn't have like a horrendous season. The Niners just have decided that Brock is the guy. And so they're moving on from Trey. Fair enough, but they better be careful with this. They better be right. Because it seems like they're more smitten with Brock than definitively out on Trey. What did he do? He didn't do anything egregious the way I see it.
I think maybe the better way to sum it up is they're all in on the present. They're not at all in on the future.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like somebody who gets so desperate that they're like, hey, man, you have no savings. You have no 401k. Dude, I don't care about a 401k. I'm just trying to pay the rent. They're kind of going in that mode where it's like, I don't care about the future. We just need to win today.
It's true.